Okay, Maripe, I think that you can start now.
Great. Okay, so welcome everyone, and thank you so much for joining this webinar. Thank you for your time. I hope this is useful information and that you enjoyed this time with us. So we are going to talk about Mako a little bit, and then Growatt is going to start their presentation on technical solutions for specifically the Caribbean zone. So Mako Solar is 100% focused on distribution of solar equipment in Latin America. We do not install or develop or do anything besides distribution. Our clients are installers, developers, EPCs, and in some specific territories, also some distributors. We come from a very a big and traditional company that's called Mako. Mako is a company also dedicated to the wholesale distribution. It was founded in 1922, so we've been in the market for more than 100 years. It has more than 1,000 employees, more than 40,000 customers, more than 10,300 SKUs, and several commercial divisions, such as food, appliances, and different other commercial divisions. And Mako Solar is the last commercial division, and it's been in the market for 8 years now. And we've been distributing in a lot of countries. I'm going to mention that later. Why work with us? We are very flexible in terms of logistics. So I'm going to show you in a second where our warehouses are located, but basically we have a very good coverage in the region because of our strategic position of our warehouses. And we are very flexible in terms of we can send your orders by air, by sea. I mean, yeah, we depends. It's up to you, whatever works better for you, but we have this flexibility. One of our objectives also is that you can find everything you need with us. So we have all the necessary equipment for your solar projects, from panels to BOS. So one of the objectives is also to make your life easier and that you don't have to be negotiating or talking to a lot of suppliers, but in one place you can find everything you need. We are the preferred distributor in 20 Latin American countries. So yes, I mentioned we've been in the market for some years now, and we are currently active in 21, actually, Latin American countries. This includes part of Central America and part of the Caribbean. And we respond to your requirements in less than 24 hours. We try to be very fast because we understand that the industry is very dynamic and that you need a partner that is capable of responding fast to your requirements. So we have, in the moment, 5 international warehouses. In Colombia, we have a few. Actually, we have a lot, like 12 warehouses, but that's not the international market. So in the international market, we have Panama is our main warehouse, and Miami is also very well stocked. We also have one warehouse in Dominican Republic, another in Guatemala, and another in Puerto Rico. So for us, it's easy to move stock from one warehouse to another, so we can offer what you want or find what you need in any warehouse. And these are the brands we work with. As you can see, we only work with tier 1 brands. For us, it's very important the quality of the brands, of course, and also that the companies we work with are capable of solving warranties and every issue that can happen after the sales. So we try we are very picky with the brands we work with, because for us it's very important to have also a great service and to be able to solve any issue as quick as we can. So yeah, so in this case we are going to talk about Growatt and the applications in the Caribbean. So I am going to stop sharing, and uh, please, Julian, you can go on, or Jelsin.
Okay, thanks. So just give me a second. I'm going to start presenting. Guys, you can see my screen.
Yeah, but not as the whole screen, just one part. It's the same. Yeah.
Okay, guys, I think everybody can see my screen. So please, you can start subscribing in our social media or social network as Growatt Latam in Instagram and Growatt Latam in Facebook. We are starting to post some installation. Also, if you have some installation in your companies, we can start publishing it. So I hope everyone can hear me well. If not, you can write it in the chat. Also, if you have questions about the presentation, or if you have questions in English or in Spanish, we can start replying it in the chat. Also, later on, we are going to start um, let you ask us in the presentation. Okay. So we're going to present the Growatt technical solution for Caribbean and, the Caribbean installers. First, I am here. Let me turn off my camera. I'm Julian Tovar from Colombia. I'm the product marketing manager, and also we are with Jelsin Torres, which is a technical support engineer. So, Jelsin.
Hello, guys.
Okay, so we are going to start it. Let me turn off my camera because we'll be faster to present. So, the contents here will be the SPF solution, the application scenario, the SPH inverter, axle lithium battery, and some topics in the installation, right? I don't know. Okay. The SPF solution is, we have some different solution, right? The first will be the SPF DVM, which comes with a transformer inside him. It let us have a split phase. So it will be easy for single phase loads to be connected in this type of inverter. Also, we have the new model, which is the SPF DVM MPB. This has more voltage range in the DC part, so we can connect more panels in it. And now we have this new model, the SPF 6000 DVM 2 generation or G2. This let us connect until 6 inverters in the same node. Well, if we want more power, we can have 36 inverters connected. Sorry, 36 kilowatts connected for an inverter. All these ones is to be connected from 2 lines and ground in the input. But now we're going to talk about of the LMM SPF, which is 120 volts inverter. So this is a single phase inverter, and is easy to connect. You can connect it in single phase, three phase, B-phase. So later on, we are going to explain it better, but now I'm presenting to you each model. Also, uh, with Meiku, we are starting to promote the batteries, the Growatt batteries, the RK of 2.5 kilowatts hour and the Axe 5 kilowatts hour. Okay, guys, so, but what is a off-grid system in Growatt? So Growatt, the inverter has to be connected of modules, batteries, utility, or generator. It depends on you. All of this is to supply the AC load. Okay. Take into account that, well, I said that we can connect it to the utility, but we are not going to inject energy to the grid. Okay. This is only for consumption. We don't need take care of this. Now, the first model that we are going to explain is the SPF 3000 LVM. This model is the white one, and we can connect it with batteries and PV module. Take into account that it's mandatory to have battery connected to this inverter. If not, it's not going to turn it on. With this inverter, we can have a power factor of 1. It has a MPPT solar charge controller. It can be connected to Wi-Fi, but the Wi-Fi stick doesn't come in the same box. You have to buy it uh, well, separately. Um, so this is our first model. Also, we can connect 24 volts batteries and 48 volts battery. But now, well, it depending of the model. If ends with 24P, it is 24 voltage. If ends with 48P, is 48 voltage. Okay, just give me a second. So this is compatible with lithium batteries and also uh, the gel batteries. Now here we are going to see the parallel mode. As I said, we can connect 6 inverters, maximum 6 inverters. So maybe if you want 2 per phase, you have a 3-phase system, or we can connect it single phase, the 6 inverters to have until 18 kilowatts. Please, one recommendation from us is have the same node in the battery. Every inverter has to be connected in the same node in the battery. Also, well, connect the input to the grid and the output to the load, and see the requirements in the user manual. Also, well, later on, we can share to you the user manual to start studying it. It's important to follow these rules to, well, to guarantees and all those things. Also, well, remember, if you have questions, you can start writing on the chat, and well, we can reply to you. This is the, well, the new model of the SPF LVM, and which is the ES, as I put it here. The new key features comparing to the older inverter is right now we can connect or we cannot connect battery. It works with or without battery. So, well, if you don't want to invest for the first time a high amount of money, well, you can first start using solar and utility, and then you can connect the battery. This comes with 430 volts in DC. Works, as I said, with or without battery. Well, have an equalization charging function. Well, this can be connected as the same as the other one until 6 inverters. You can connect 2 per phase to have a 3-phasic system, or well, just a single phase of 6 inverter, maximum 18 kilowatts of power at the same time. Well, now we're going to talk about this big fella, the SPF 4000 to 12,000 dBm MPV. This inverter comes, as I said, with auto transformer inside him or here. So with this auto transformer, we can make a split phase output, okay? So the utility, or we are going to connect the inverter to utility only with line 1 and line 2, and the output will be the 2 lines and the neutral. Please consider to connect the battery and the PV modules to work 100%. This doesn't work without battery, so in the moment that you are sizing the project, take into account the batteries. This model, the MPV, can have 250 volts in DC voltage. So you can have more panels to supply the loads. This is a low frequency transformer, and well, it's compatible with generation power, with a generation. So you can connect or utility or a diesel generator. And finally, we have this model, and well, the G2 or 2 generation is a inverter that now we can connect it in different amount of inverters until 6 inverters. So now we have inverter with auto transformer, but we can now have multiple inverters. You know, with the other DVM solution, we can only connect one inverter, but now we are going to have until 6 inverter. Okay. So with this, we can have more power for the house that we are sizing or the commercial. This is the final connection. Please, this is only for single phase connection. Do not connect in 3-phasic if later you are going to buy this new G2 inverter. So from here is, well, a little bit of off-grid inverters. We can have a lot of solution later. Later, we are going to present how to install it and some installation that we have in around the world. So yeah. Now some application of the off-grid inverters is check. Well, later Jelsin is helping me with the questions. So it have multiple work modes. We can have, well, this first one, if the solar is sufficient, we're going to inject energy to the batteries and the load, and well, not work with the utility. If the solar is not sufficient, we are going to use the energy in the battery to inject in the load. Okay, so the utility will be only for, well, in case of emergency or when the battery is dead or with a low voltage. Okay, So the first is model. This second model, which is utility, now we are going to use the utility power to charge the battery and inject to the load. Well, if the solar power is not available, we are only going to use the utility to charge the battery and the AC load. And if the utility is not available, we're going to use the solar and to charge the battery and the load. So, well, why I'm presenting this? Because those inverter have different models or modes to work if you have different, uh, well, uh, emergency or well, different things. Now, well, more explanation about the different scenarios. Here we have first scenario when solar power is sufficient. So with the solar energy, we are going to charge battery and load, and and where when the PV or the solar energy is not enough, we are going to use the battery. Okay. The second is when the scenario when this the solar power is sufficient, but this is if you want to use the utility. Well, we are going to charge the battery with the utility with the solar power is not sufficient, and also inject energy to the loads. This priority is, well, sub first and solar first. Let me see. Okay, thanks, Jelsin, for reply the questions. So this scenario is power backup. Also, we have the third scenario, which is power charging. With this, we are going to use more the utility energy. Well, if we have PV solar, so work as the same, charging the battery and the loads. But if it's not sufficient, we are going to use only the grid to inject to the batteries and to inject to the loads. Why different models? Because, well, it depending of the energy tariff. If the energy is too high, well, we can use only batteries and solar. But if you have like a decent tariff, we can also use the utility. It will depend of the size of this dollar, okay? Here is a key point of our explanation is those inverter can be connected to our monitoring pages, but they do take into the account that this Wi-Fi stick doesn't come in off-grid inverters. Okay, so if you want to connect your inverter to internet, so you have to buy it the Shine Wi-Fi F. Why F? Because this model only works with off-grid inverters, right? For on-grid and hybrid comes other Wi-Fi stick. Now we are going to start talking about SPH inverter, the difference, the models, and how to connect it. So first, why a hybrid inverter? So this is the combination of an on-grid inverter and off-grid inverter. So now we have the possibility to inject to the grid, to have emergency loads. So it's a good combination to, well, to supply energy to different customers or end user. So this SPH inverter or hybrid inverter can be connected with or without batteries, only to be an interconnector system or a interconnected system with storage. Here we have the basic connection of the SPH BLUS. This inverter is right now in stock, so you can start talking or talking with Maker to see the prices are and the etc. So now, how to connect? First, we have to size the solar uh, plant or the solar panels to connect it to the inverter. Then you can start connecting the batteries. But this inverter comes with two ports, right? The first one is the grid port, and the second one is the EPS port. Okay, when I say EPS port is emergency power supply. This is only for emergency loads, some loads that cannot be disconnected to the grid, right? So this model needs to be connected with the ATS US. This ATS US is an auto transformer to have the split phase, right? In the grid port, you can connect it directly with the grid, but for the emergency power supply, it's mandatory to have the ATS US. For the emergency loads, you have to do a new sub panel and split the emergency loads to the normal loads. Also, all the SPH comes with the SMUS meter, right? If you want to, if you want to do zero injection, you can connect the CTs in the lines and connect the meter to the inverter and start doing zero injection. So here we can see like the normal or the basic form to connect the SPH BLUS. Uh, you in this you can see the acryl meter, which is the meter which comes with the inverter, the SPH. This is pretty easy to connect. I just want to say that or to inform you that DCTs, it has to be connected from the grid to the load as um um the imagine here, because if you are not to connect it like this, maybe it can have some issues with the current, with the metering. So please connect it as I said here. Also, well, in our YouTube page, we have all the uh, connection of this inverter, so you can follow those videos. Finally, we have here the connection of the ATS. Inside this box, this white box, we have first, well, some protection, some AC protection, the auto transformer, which is over here, and well, the ports. So first, we can connect the backup loads. As I mentioned here, as you can see here, two lines are neutral, and also we can connect the output of the inverter. So we can connect grid, the grid port, and the EPS port here to have the switch, and all the ground has to be connected in this node. Please do not connect the neutral of the grid with the neutral of the auto transformer. If you connect it, well, it will be a short circuit, okay? I know that neutral is a zero voltage line, but because it's not the same neutral, it can have a short circuit. So do not connect. And here we have our first installation of the SPH in Colombia, but it can work in all the voltage in 120 volts. Okay. Other recommendation is the inverter in the EPS port is only, just give me a second. In the EPS port, the maximum power that you can supply is 3.6 kilowatts. Okay. It doesn't matter that the inverter is 5 kilowatts. The 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 EPS port will be 3.6 kilowatts in power. Okay. So now I'm going to explain to you a new reference that will come for this Latin American market. It's not available yet, but it's good that you can know it. So we have the SPH 10 kilowatt US. These help us to connect loads in uh, in a split phase without ATS. You can have 1.5 uh, AC-DC ratio. Why? Well, you can charge the batteries and inject to the grid the other 10 kilowatts. With this model, we can now connect in parallel or more than one inverter in parallel until 3 inverters to have 30 kilowatts. In split phase or in three-phase, we can connect it in parallel. Take into account that the old version we cannot connect it in parallel. Okay. Now we're going to talk about the Axe lithium battery. This is our best battery in the market. We have some years selling it, and now Meiko has it in stock. So it's very important to have some explanation here. So this battery is a low voltage battery, 48 volts, a 5 kilowatts hour module. We can connect in the same tower until 10 batteries to have 50 kilowatts hour. The operation temperature is minus 10 Celsius to 50 Celsius. Okay, so I think someone has the microphone on, so I don't know if David can help me. Well, this battery is 45 kilograms, and the Axi battery is IP20. So we recommend to you that please take care of dust and water. Here, it's important, or we are going to talk about battery cells cycles. So if we have a 100% DOD in 1C discharge or charge rate in 25 Celsius, after 7,000 cycles, we are going to have until 70% of the original capacity. So this represents that our battery is a deeply charged or deeply discharged battery. Of course, we are not to use it for 100% DOD. We recommend to use this battery until 90% of DOD. But this is a good example that the battery can resist deeply cycles. This battery is compatible with different storage inverter as hybrid or as off-grid, right? So the new SPH or the SPH BLUS, also the SPF LFMES, or well, all these models that I present to you. Sometimes people ask me if these batteries can be connected with other inverters, other brands. Not. Please do not connect these Axi batteries with other brands, okay? Uh, Another thing that I want to explain to you is for lithium battery, our inverters is only available with our batteries, okay? If you have uh, gel batteries, you can connect other brands, but in lithium, it's only Growatt, okay? This also this will depend of the guarantee. Jelsin will help us explain it more deeply this relation about warranty and the batteries, but I want to say that we recommend our inverters connected to our batteries. So, why this new battery, and why so important for this market? This battery is like a Lego, right? So we can start connected just putting one in top of the other. So it's pretty easy to connect. Only 15 minutes we need. So we are going to have less time in the installation. After you connect all the batteries, you have to connect the cable. This cable we sell in Mexico. We have some stock of this cable. So at the top we connect this cable to the inverter, and we connect the CAN port to the CAN port to the inverter, and this is it, right? If we want to have more towers, we need to buy the power combiner box and connect it as I mentioned it here. This is, to have until 400 kilowatts hour in energy. So please connect it as the image here, the communication port between them and the power directly to the combiner box. Okay, so maybe some topics that I want to say is this battery, or we have a really good price for this battery, so you can have all the same system with one brand. This will be easy in the time of OEM to replace the battery or replace the inverter. So I think it's a good combination of those battery. Right now, Jelsin, our support technical engineer, is going to help us with the installation of these off-grid inverters. He's going to say some topics, some recommendation, and finally explain or show some real cases or real installation. So thanks everybody for listening to me. I will help you with the questions, and later on we can hear you if you have more questions. So Jelsin, I'm going to let you share.
All right, Julian, thank you very much. And thank you, everybody. Just let me set up everything here for the installations and some advices when you are gonna install these off-grid systems in your plant. Share screen, entire screen, share. All right, can you see my screen now?
Yes, we can.
All right. Yeah, of course. This is pretty much straightforward. I know you usually install these kind of systems every day, many of you. But well, going to the basics, we're gonna need a multimeter because it's really important to measure first and you have to be really sure where you're going to install it, the voltages in the plant, in the house, or in the commercial um, store. Of course, sometimes the ampere meter. Usually, most of the ampere meter have the multimeter function. You can measure voltage with it. A crimper, because it's usually recommend. I would advise you to have this crimper instead of putting all the cables and in a not a tidy way. Usually, you can have some very hit points when because the contact is not good, so it's better if you can use a crimper too. And well, that would be pretty much everything. The calculate items, of course, all of these steps must be uh, addresses before the installation, before the buying. You have to be sure how much is the charge, the load, and as I told you before, the voltage in the plant. All right. So, well, of course, the old wiring must be really well fastened to avoid sheeting, to avoid these hot spots too. Of course, the polarity. You don't believe the amount of time or the amount of calls we usually get because of the PV is not in the polarity. This is the negative is in the positive and the positive in the negative. Of course, pretty much that could damage the inverter. So you have to be really careful with it. The better and better to be safe before. Just measure it with the multimeter, so you would be sure the correct polarity before connecting it. And yeah, that would be all. Yes, as Julian said before, it's very important when you are gonna parallel these systems. And someone was asking me in the chat for three phase or maybe just to parallel for one phase, but with more for more power. There is only one battery for the whole system. Only one bank. It's not like you can put a bank for one inverter and another battery bank for the other inverter. It's not gonna work like that, right? You are gonna get a warning or a error message from the LCD, or well, in the monitoring system. It's not gonna work. So yeah, just keep in mind this because otherwise it's not gonna work. And yeah, of course, as you can see there, this is never gonna. It's always good to have like these fuses there, to be able in order to protect the inverter, because it's one of the most important thing. Of course, the more expensive one is the battery, usually depending on the battery capacity. But after that, the inverter. So it's good idea to always protect and always think about protecting the inverter. And it's just for a few bucks you can protect the inverter from very high load. Usually, when you get a really high peak amps load, this is gonna protect a little bit the battery and the inverter too, because it's not gonna allow the battery to provide too much current in a very short time. And yeah, well, yeah, this is a recommendation. This is only for lead acid batteries. Yeah, this recommendation. The number of parallel batteries should not be more than three groups. And of course, the series usually they are 12 volts, and for this system usually we get 48 volts. Well, depending on, you have to be careful because there are some solution with 24 volts, and the inverters are IP20, so they must be protected from the direct sunlight and from the rain and from, well, this is the snow. I think there are not any country in the Caribbean which snows. Well, depending on if they are in the mountain or something, we can have some snowy mountains, but I'm not sure though. Anyways, so it must be protected. Must be protected, and you, yeah, not outside. It's better if you can keep it inside in a control temperature. This is something that you have to to address first, because as we told you before, they can work in up to, well, depending on the one we're talking about, up to 50 degrees Celsius. But sometimes, yeah, of course, pretty much not all the time you are gonna get more than 40 degrees, but that is the micro environment, micro ambient you are gonna install it. Usually some people install many of many. Let's say you are gonna install six of them in one very tiny room. Of course, the heat generated by one of them is going to pass to the other. And in that little room, the temperature can be more than 50 degrees because there are not good ventilation, there are not good a good way to the hot air to escape from that room. So the temperature is gonna go up, and it's gonna affect, of course, the 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 well, the way the inverter works. So it's important to have a way to move all the air circulation, so the temperature is not gonna go up that much. All right. This is pretty much all the for the, well, the parts of this inverter. The SPF 3000 TL LVN. As you can know, LVN is for stands for the low voltage, and for the 120 systems. So, well, we got the input, AC input, the USB communication port. We usually use that USB, sorry, communication port for upgrade sometimes the firmware. I really recommend you to ask us first if you want to upgrade the system, if you want to upgrade the firmware of the inverter, because sometimes you can just break it. Yes, break the inverter, and we would need to do something, to unbreak it. Well, for the battery input, of course, only one circuit breaker, a communication port for communication with another inverter, and for communication with a BMS with one of the one battery backup. Of course, we recommend to use the Growatt system because they work straight away, and for warranty purposes, it's easier for us to give you warranty if you are using our batteries, because we can give you support for our batteries, because we can and they can work with some other brands, but we don't recommend them because sometimes there are some communication problems. Sometimes the other brand can make an upgrade of the firmware, and all of a sudden they cannot communicate to each other again. So yeah, we're having a lot of problems with this when we are using a third brand batteries. So yeah, pretty much try to use the for lithium, of course, I'm talking about lithium. Use the lithium batteries, please. Well, this is the other off-grid system we got. Pretty much all, pretty much the same. Sorry. second. Pretty much the same. We're gonna have the same things. The dry contacts, you usually can program them, to if you got it in a plant for whatever reason. The USB port, of course, to upgrade the system, and AC input, AC output, some status indicators or fault indicators, and yeah, the same thing for the LVM. The difference here, you are gonna need to remove a cover first to be able to install all to have access to the battery input, the PV input, and the AC input. This is for the Shine Phone application. When you got everything ready, yes, you can insert in the Wi-Fi GPRS port the data logger. This is sort of a stick. Of course, you have to buy it by yourself separately. You're just gonna need to download. It's available for iOS and Android system. And if you got already a installer account, is just scan the code, and first of all connect it to the directly to the data logger, and then you are gonna set the Wi-Fi in the plant, or all the well minor details there. You are gonna need the password, Wi-Fi password, and yeah, just that. Of course, if you're gonna need some help, the support team there in Mako or here in Growatt can help you with it. All right. Well, you need to communicate when you are gonna parallel connection. You need to communicate them. Of course, there's gonna be one communication a cable to connect them, and you are gonna need two set up in each of the inverters. If it's gonna be a parallel output, this is the 23 register, and just you can read all this information before installing in the manual user manual, to be able to be sure what you're gonna do. Of course, here in this case, we are gonna parallel them in a single phase. Of course, as you can get a split phase or a three-phase system paralleling these inverters. Of course, if you want to parallel a three-phase system, you are going to need at least three of them. It's not like you got two of them and then one you don't need to back up or something. No, you are going to need the three of them for a three-phase systems. If it's in a single phase, you can have up to six, and the number depends on your power requirements. And this is for depending on the case. And this is for the communication with the lithium battery, right? As I told you before, you only have one battery backup for the whole system, for the six of them, or for the six of them. It's not like you got one for this phase, one for this other phase, or one power bank for this inverter, and so on. No, you only have one for all of them. For all of them, pretty much, because if you got another battery for one inverter, it's really hard to keep all the batteries the same level. So there is going to be one moment that one is going to work and the others are not going to work. So that's why we need to stick to the rule to only have one battery backup for the whole of them, right? That depending on the battery system you are using, you just need, for example, for the AXA battery, Growatt AXA battery. You are communicating them, and then after that, you are gonna have only one cable, one CAN cable to communicate with the whole system. You are gonna need a hub, of course, to communicate with the whole all the inverters. And this is some of the examples, some of the installations some of our clients have. Pretty neat. This is a 10 kilowatts in South Africa, in Turkey, Brazil. Of course, as you can see in the South Africa, they are using another kind. I think they are Pylontech. I'm not sure though. Of course, as I told you, they can work with some brands, but try to work with the Growatt for warranty issues, because it's easier for us if you need warranty if you are using the whole system. All right. And yeah, I'm not sure, guys, if you got another question for me or Julian, or maybe for the Mako guys about these off-grid systems. I'm open to hear you. And well, that would be everything, at least for today. And thank you very much for coming for this webinar.
Okay, thank you, Yeltsin. Thank you to Growatt team. I think that yeah, we have one question from Gregory Jones. He says, in Curacao we have three-phase 380 from the utility company, but I don't know what is the puntual question.
Okay, so Gregory, in Curacao, we have to use the other type of inverter, the European version or the Brazilian version, to connect it in this 380 volts. Well, it's not recommend to connect the LATAM models, because this is a different voltage. Maybe it can work, but if there is something of warranty, well, it will be not available, because this is not in the rules in the user manual. So for this voltage, I recommend to you to buy it, well, maybe with Mako directly from China, or see one supplier to buy it for this voltage.
Okay, thank you, Julian. I think, well, I don't know if anyone has more questions, or it's okay. I don't see any questions, so yeah, we want to say thank you to Growatt team for joining us to this webinar, for share this moment with our customers. And yeah, thank you everyone for joining us. This webinar is going to send to you to your emails with the presentation, and also this webinar is going to be recording on our channel in YouTube, Mako Solar. That's all for today. Again, say thank you to Julian, to Yeltsin, and I hope to see you very soon. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you very much.
So thank you everybody to be here. I hope you guys enjoy it. And well, we are going to have more of those webinars in Spanish, English, and well, you can contact Maria to see the prices, and let me know if you need something.
Thank you so much, and have a good day.